Long before cities rose or words were written, the earth belonged to chaos. Volcanoes burned in the distance. Storms tore through forests. And beasts ruled the land with tooth and claw. Amid this savage world, a fragile creature emerged, small, unarmored, and afraid: humanity. They had no fangs, no wings, no scales to shield them. Only trembling hands. And a mind that refused to surrender. Each day was a gamble with death, hunger, predators, and cold waiting beyond every sunrise. But when fear met fire, and desperation met intelligence, something powerful was born. From struggle came strength. The prehistoric world was not a home, it was a battlefield. From pain came progress. And from the edge of extinction came us. The air carried the scent of blood and rain. Nights were colder, darker, and longer than anything we know today. Early humans wandered across shifting landscapes, deserts one year, frozen tundra the next. They battled storms that erased entire valleys and droughts that left the earth cracked and lifeless. To leave meant to move. To move meant to risk everything. Each dawn was a question: who will still be alive when night falls? Their lives were a fragile dance between hunger and hope. Yet even then, a spark was growing inside them. The drive to fight back against a world that refused to show mercy. They began as scavengers, following the trail of predators, stealing scraps from lion kills. But desperation soon turned into design. Humans learned patience. They studied the rhythm of the herds, the habits of prey. A broken branch became a clue. A gust of wind carried scent and sound. They crafted spears from stone and wood, tools that turned weakness into precision. A successful hunt was a miracle. A failed one meant starvation. Every meal was earned through strategy, silence, and sacrifice. At night, the tribe would gather around meager fires, sharing what little they had: meat, warmth, and stories. In those moments of survival, community was born. But humanity's greatest challenge walked on four legs, or flew through the sky. Saber-toothed cats, cave lions, mammoths, and monstrous bears ruled the land. To face them was madness and necessity. Imagine a small band of hunters, their breath fogging in the cold. They stand before a woolly mammoth, its tusks glinting in the pale light. The ground trembles with every step. They shout, wave fire, and hurl spears, turning fear into fury. Victory was rare. Death was common. Yet each battle taught them something: courage. They learned that fear could be mastered, that even giants could fall, and that survival was not about strength. Then came the spark. Lightning struck a tree. Flames spread across the dry grass, painting the night in gold. At first, they ran, terrified of the living light. But curiosity drew them back. And there, in that moment of trembling awe, humanity discovered its greatest ally. Even with fire at their side, the world did not surrender. For every victory, new predators waited in the dark. Tigers, with eyes like molten gold, prowled the edges of the camp. Hyenas, laughing ghosts of the night, stalked the weak and the dying. Survival in its purest form, raw, brutal, and uncertain. But about unity and fire. It gave warmth, protection, and light. It scared away predators and cooked food that once made them sick. Around the flames, they gathered, sharing warmth, stories, and knowledge. The flicker of firelight reflected in their eyes as they began to dream. For the first time, they controlled a piece of nature, and with it, the power to shape their destiny. Alone, they were weak. Together, unstoppable. Tribes formed not just for safety, but for identity. Each member had a purpose: hunters, gatherers, healers, protectors. They learned to communicate. Gestures became sounds, sounds became language. They planned, remembered, and imagined. This unity turned survival into civilization. See, our ancestors wandered this world barefooted, armed with nothing but bone tools and courage. Each sunrise brought a new trial, a storm, a predator, or starvation. In Africa's ancient valleys, early humans scavenged carcasses left by lions. They waited in silence, watching from the tall grass, hearts pounding. When the predators were done, they approached, driven not by greed, but by sheer desperation. The scent of rotting flesh filled their lungs. Their hands, trembling, tore the meat apart. Together they built shelters from bone and hide, crafted tools from flint and fire, and shared knowledge across generations. When one tribe fell, another learned from its mistakes. Progress was written in survival, and survival was written in community. Through cooperation, they endured what nature tried to erase. But survival was never guaranteed. Ice ages swept across continents. Food vanished. Entire tribes disappeared without trace. Yet humans endured, migrating, adapting, never surrendering. They hunted new prey, found new lands, and made tools smarter than before. Each catastrophe forced evolution. Each loss made them stronger. When the cold receded, what remained was not just a species, but a force capable of shaping the planet itself. From the ashes of fire and the blood of beasts, humanity rose. We are their echo, carrying the instincts, fears, and dreams of those who walked before history began. Every skyscraper, every invention, every heartbeat of civilization is built on their struggle. They taught us resilience. They taught us unity. They taught us that survival is not about enduring the world, but mastering it. Music swells, triumphant yet sullen. So, when we gaze into the flames today, we see more than light. We see the memory of those who refused to die. The first survivors. The first humans. The beginning of us. To the early humans, the world still belonged to the beasts. The fire burned bright, but beyond its glow eyes shimmered, hundreds of them. Every sound at night meant danger. A single mistake, a dropped timber, a wandering child could bring death to the entire tribe. When the hyenas came, they came in silence. They surrounded the camp, drawn by the smell of cooked meat and blood. Men grabbed burning branches, shouting and striking the air as women huddled close, clutching infants to their chests. The night became a war zone of screams and snarls. One hunter fell, dragged into the dark, his torch extinguished. But the others held the line, driving the beasts back with fire and fury. When dawn finally came, the camp was silent, scarred, but alive. Survival had a cost. And yet, with every battle, they learned it. They learned to guard in shifts, to build barriers of bone and thorn, to trust one another, not just with strength, but with life itself. But even within the safety of firelight, death still lingered, not in the form of beasts, but within the fragile act of birth. For early humans, childbirth was both miracle and menace. There were no healers, no medicine, only the instincts of women who had seen both life and loss. In the dim light of the cave, the cries of pain echoed through stone walls. A mother struggled, sweat mingling with the dust beneath her. The air was thick with fear, one wrong turn of the child, and both could be lost. When the child's cry finally filled the air, tears of relief fell. They had witnessed not just birth, but defiance. Against a world that tried to erase them, they created life. Each child was a victory against extinction. Each birth, a declaration that humanity would continue, no matter the odds. And so the tribe grew, slowly, painfully, but always forward. Yet, the greatest danger did not always come from the wild. Sometimes, it came from within. As tribes grew larger, so did pride, jealousy, and fear. Food was scarce. Leadership meant survival, and power became a weapon of its own. A dispute over meat, a stolen tool, a broken promise, these were sparks that could ignite fury. And when rage boiled over, the tribe turned on itself. Brothers fought. Allies betrayed. Blood stained the same ground they once defended together. But through pain came realization that division was death. They learned that to fight one another was to feed the beasts waiting outside. From those dark moments, new rules emerged, unspoken laws of fairness and trust. The beginnings of morality, the roots of society. The strongest no longer ruled by fear alone, they led by wisdom, by the ability to keep peace. And those who followed did so not out of submission, but out of hope.